With hands over hearts, dreams become reality. Today, new Americans take the oath of allegiance, their journeys, their courage, their promise. Join us live for this unforgettable celebration of citizenship and country. KTBS 3 and KPXJ presents a Naturalization Celebration, honoring America 250, brought to you by SWEPCO.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Shannon Bernius.
And I'm Alex Anderson. A very special day. We just watched a very special performance from the Victory Bells, and things are going to get even better from here.
KTBS 3's project director Jan Elkins and Rick Rowe are both at the historic Strand Theater, where in the next half hour, 34 people from 23 different countries will take the oath of allegiance.
And they'll become something they've dreamed of for years, American citizens. Let's go to Jan and Rick. Hey, guys.
God has blessed this country. No question about it.
Hey y'all, it's such a pleasure to be with you. We've got a live audience here in the Strand, and the new citizens are making their way now to the stage, as is our station manager, George Servin, who's going to speak, who himself is a naturalized citizen. This has been a great experience so far because the Victory Bells just performed. I mean, it was inspiring, wasn't it?
Amazing, amazing talent.
Made
Again,
you wish you could sing.
Amen, amen, amen. Absolutely, yes.
But what's going to happen now is the serious part. We have joined our television viewers in a live newscast, and so you're going to be part of history as our new citizens come to the stage and sit. There's 35 this year, and it's a miraculous time because it's America 250.
Look at them. From
Ladies
23.
and gentlemen.
35 folks from 23 different countries, and they've each one spent, I'm telling you folks, years. This is a long, and so many of you, and by the way, those members of the families of these wonderful folks, you've come out here and supported them. You've been with them all along. You're that support team behind them as they studied the language and the civics lessons and the law and the government and all of the things necessary to become an American citizen. They don't do this, I suspect, without you. So thank you for your support of them, honestly. It doesn't happen alone.
So what is going to happen? We have now entered into an official court proceeding. We could not do this without federal judge Maury Hicks, who allows us to move it from the court to the Strand, who allows us to televise it, one of a kind. It is not done anywhere else in this country. So congratulate yourselves on being part of history, and we thank Maury Hicks. You just did a story about it.
I did, and one of the things that he told me, this is a highly accomplished man. Amazing what this guy has done and where he's been and the accomplishments in his life. But he tells me this day, and he's done this 23 times in a row, this day is one of, if not the happiest days of his life, because this day, unlike most of the days in his courtroom, everybody wins, nobody loses. Amen to that.
And with that, Rick, let's bring out the Honorable Judge Maury Hicks, who will take over the proceedings, and thank you for being a part.
Judge Hicks, we're ready for you, Judge.
Ordinarily, I would do a welcome speech to everyone here, but at the very outset of the program, we are honored here today by Mayor Tom Arsenault, who would like to say a few words to welcome everyone to Shreveport and to this ceremony before we sing our national anthem. Mayor Arsenault.
Thank you, Your Honor, and may it please the court. This is a privilege to be here on this stage with all of you. Thank you for your commitment to our country, and I hope that our country gives you every dream that you have to come true. Welcome to the United States. welcome to Shreveport.
You'd never know it, but Mayor Arsenault and I went to law school together. He's older, but just by a little bit. At this time, please rise as I introduce Gail Odom, our soloist for the Star Spangled Banner today.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. America 250, July 2, 2026. What a great day to be alive. What a great day to be an American and to become an American. That is why we're here today, to honor you and welcome you into the fold of full American citizenship. It is indeed a remarkable day. It is a day of celebration. It is by far the happiest thing that I do as a United States District Judge in the Western District of Louisiana. I've been on the bench 23 years now, and I can tell you not everything I do has a happy ending. We have a heavy criminal docket and a heavier civil docket, including the latest set of immigration cases. In this instance, we have people here today to become U.S. citizens who have done it all according to the book. They have done it right. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce to you Marcy Aiken, who is a Supervisory Immigration Services Assistant, and we will go through the group that we have here today, 34 people from 22 different countries stretching across the globe. Let me explain why I'm dressed in a bright, glowing red robe. This is a ceremonial robe that U.S. district judges are authorized to wear for special occasions. Today is one of those special occasions. This is not any red robe. Judge Tom Stagg, after whom our United States Courthouse here is named, had this robe made specifically for him by all of his former law clerks. Judge Stagg has passed away, and it is an honor to be given the opportunity to wear this robe today. It is a privilege to honor Judge Stagg in our community for all of his contributions, and for you to be able to take pictures of a guy standing up here in something bright red instead of something dark black. It is ceremonial. It is important. At this time, I would like to recognize Marcy Aiken, our Supervisory Immigration Services Assistant, who will introduce all of today's petitioners. Marcy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Your Honor, if it please the court, the individuals present have filed applications for naturalization with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. USCIS has determined that they are eligible for naturalization and has approved their naturalization applications. Pursuant to Section 310B of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the court is authorized to administer the oath of allegiance. Additionally, some candidates have also requested a name change. Accordingly, USCIS is also presenting those requests for name change to the court for appropriate action. Elizabeth Maria Fatila, Canada. Hong Su, China. Caroline Marie Pierce, Germany. Ni Huang Lien Vo, Vietnam. Daylin Choi, Cambodia. Hafid, I do apologize, sir, Chiket, Morocco. Pingtong Ping Bonma, name changed to Pinky Ping Bonma, Laos. Fatih Derbel, name changed to Fatih Ben Derbel, Tunisia. Natalia Mercado Lising, Philippines. Anju Pulichakira Verghese, name changed to Anju Abraham, India. Maria Lourdes Gonzalez Rather, Mexico. Gamal Mohammed Man Al-Guemi, name changed to Gamal Mohammed Al-Guemi, Yemen. Haley Lynn Cryer, Canada. Suhee Kim, Korea. Hui T. Nguyen, Vietnam. Vien Van Lee, Vietnam. Sunil Michael D'Souza, Eswatini. Olivia Reiser, Mexico. Edgar Iram Martinez Medina, Mexico. Anastasia Kilmankova, Belarus. Giselle Evans, Brazil. Russell Brian James, Jamaica. Ralitza Yanchiva Tiu, name changed to Ralitza Georgieva Tiu, Bulgaria. Sandeep Singh Birdi, United Kingdom. Marlise Arlene Rojas Trejo, Mexico. Diana Valeria Galicia, Mexico. Rini Sanji, name changed to Rini Ann Bryan, India. Na Yuen Dao, Vietnam. John Harry Roy Robinson, United Kingdom. Anastasio Morales Bustamante, Mexico. Nelfrey Nathaniel Benzan Crusay, Dominican Republic. Sori Traor, Mali. Mustafa Ersin Erguin, Turkey. Hardik Bhai Ramshabi Patel, name changed to Hardik Patel, India. Congratulations, everyone.
At this time, the court has been presented with various motions granting any requested name change and indicating that each who is present here today at the Strand Theater involved in this ceremony will be admitted as the next United States citizens. The court grants all motions. The court signs these orders, and they are provided to the clerk of court Daniel J. McCoy, Clerk of Court for the Western District of Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you've remained standing. A couple of things you may have noticed as you filed in today is not only do you have your certificates of citizenship, which should be treasured by you and perhaps put in a safe deposit box and certainly not stuck in a drawer somewhere. These are absolutely critical to prove the fact that you have taken the tests, you've made the grade, you are about to become U.S. citizens in just a moment. Are you ready to take the oath of citizenship? I bet they are. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I surrender and renounce any and all allegiance to any foreign state, government, prince, or potentate of which I have been a citizen or subject. I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic, I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law. I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, you are now the newest citizens of the United States of America. And long may those flags wave. You may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you with truly eagle eyes in the audience may notice in the semicircle of flags that we have on display as the backdrop that there are two flags, one immediately behind me, the other on the far side, with the big blue field and the number 76 in it. You will see a semicircle of 11 stars. And up at the top, you will see 2 stars in each corner of the blue field. That is by design. That is called a Bennington flag, and it has a couple of unique features about it. It is a Revolutionary wartime flag, and it flew over a supply depot. You will notice that the bottom stripe on a Bennington flag is white, not red. While you can't see it, the top stripe is also white and not red. And as you look at the remainder of the flags, you will see the familiar 13 stars and stripes, but now they start at the top with red and they end at the bottom with red. That's by way of a standardization that occurred in the late 1700s. The other thing that you will notice is that the flags are topped mostly by eagles. The Bennington flag has a spear tip behind me. The other Bennington flag happened to belong to the estate of Tom Stagg, and it was presented to me. Judge Stagg was presented that flag for his service as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention of 1974 in Louisiana. The flag was presented to him because of his service. If you look carefully at the eagles, you will notice that their heads are all turned exactly the same direction, except for one. The tallest flag right in the middle, has the eagle's head turned differently because that predated the standardization of how the eagle is looking. From the eagle's point of view, with wings spread, he looks to the right. That eagle is old enough that there was no standardization, and that eagle looks to the left. By the way, that one happens to be in courtroom 1, my courtroom. Just a little trivial note there. It is important that these flags are here as powerful symbols of what is occurring here in this venue. Please listen attentively to our next speaker, a very special guest by the name of George Servin. George became a naturalized citizen of the United States more than 5 decades ago. From all over the world, they came. From all over the world, they still come. Like each of you, he began his journey in the United States as an American citizen and has built a life, raised a family, and contributed mightily to his community as a proud citizen of your country. His American experiences remind us that citizenship is not simply a legal status, but a lifelong commitment as well as a continuing privilege. After all, the pursuit of happiness is a daily activity. Please join me in welcoming Mr. George Servin, General Manager of the KTVS television station here in Shreveport, as he shares a few thoughts with our newest citizens.
Good afternoon. Judge Hicks, distinguished guests, honored families, and most importantly, our newest citizens of the United States of America, welcome. Today is one of the most meaningful days of your lives. It is a day that you will remember forever. Years from now, I hope you will look back on this ceremony and remember not only the oath that you took, but the promise you made to yourself, your family, and to your new country. As I stand here before you, I can tell you something very personal. More than 50 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are now. I wasn't standing behind a podium. I was sitting in a chair as a young immigrant, preparing to become an American citizen. My parents brought our family from Cuba to America in search of something many of you understand very well, freedom. My father was a graduate of LSU in Baton Rouge and served as a plant manager of the U.S.-owned nickel company in Cuba. He was successful, respected, and had every reason to believe his future was secure. But he noticed something changing. Freedom wasn't disappearing overnight. It disappeared little by little. Private businesses were taken over. People became afraid to speak openly. The government increasingly decided where people could live, where they could own, and eventually what they could believe. My father understood that history has taught us time and time again, freedom is much easier to lose than it is to regain. He made a courageous decision to leave everything behind so his children would grow up with opportunities instead of restrictions. Our family arrived in Shreveport through the kindness of a local Methodist church, Broadmoor Methodist Church, that helped immigrant families begin new lives. America welcomed us, and this community became our home. I still remember our naturalization ceremony. It took place in the old Slattery building here in downtown Shreveport. I remember raising my hand and taking the oath. I remember receiving a small American flag. And at 12 years old, while I didn't understand what had just happened, I certainly do today. Because becoming an American citizen is far more than receiving a certificate. It means embracing a privilege and equally important responsibility. Growing up, my parents taught us something that has stayed with me throughout my life. Inside our home, we spoke Spanish. We celebrated Cuban traditions. We honored our family's heritage. But the moment we walked outside the front door, we were all Americans. We never forgot where we came from, but we never questioned where we belonged. That distinction made all the difference. Today, I encourage each of you to do the same. Celebrate your culture, preserve your traditions, teach your children about your homeland. Those traditions are part of who you are, and America is stronger because of the many cultures represented in this room today. But beginning this afternoon, your American citizenship becomes your highest civic priority. Become involved, vote, volunteer, serve your community, respect the freedoms protected by our Constitution. Teach your children not only the language of your homeland, but also the principles that have made America a beacon of home for generations: faith, freedom, personal responsibility, and the opportunity to succeed through hard work. Our family believed in three simple values: faith, family, and hard work. Those principles transformed our lives. My brothers and sisters went on to become physicians, business executives, accountants, and public servants. I found my calling in the local television station here and have spent nearly 50 years sharing those stories from folks from across the Arklatex. None of those opportunities would have existed without the decision my parents made to come to America. That is why patriotism means so much to me. When you have seen freedom disappear, when your parents have sacrificed everything to preserve it, you never take it for granted. As we gather just 2 days before Independence Day, and our nation prepares to celebrate its 250th birthday, each of you becomes part of America's story today. America's history is written by every immigrant who stood where you are standing today and pledged allegiance to this nation. You are part of America's story. Your children will grow up here. Your grandchildren will call this country home. And one day, they may look back at this very ceremony and say, that was the day our family's future changed forever. I know that's how I look back on mine. So today, wear your citizenship with pride, protect it, honor it, never take it for granted, because freedom is not inherited automatically. Every generation has a responsibility to preserve it for the next. Congratulations to each of you. Welcome to your new home. Welcome to this remarkable community. And most importantly, welcome to the United States of America. Thank you.
I have a couple of trivia questions to ask of our newest citizens as well as those in the audience. We'll start with a loaded question. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Okay, it's Thomas Jefferson, all right? Generally, that's true. His genius was clear, and everybody on the committee to draft it defaulted to him to put it together. He did, however, receive a bit of input from, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Roger Sherman, and Robert Livingston. They did more than edit it. They worked with Thomas Jefferson to draft the Declaration of Independence. So the answer to the question of who wrote the Declaration of Independence is Thomas Jefferson. Well, yes and no. Here's the loaded part of the question. Whose handwriting appears on the original Declaration of Independence on display at the National Archives? It's not TJ. A gentleman by the name of Timothy Matlack, a Pennsylvania patriot and a clerk for the Second Continental Congress, who carefully copied the final text from Jefferson with edits onto parchment for the delegates to sign. Second trivia question. When was the Declaration of Independence signed? Okay, short answer. There were two people to sign it. The one we know by heart is John Hancock. As president of the Second Continental Congress, he, in fact, put his name on July the 4th on the parchment document that we all have. The rest of the delegates, the bulk signed on August 2, 1776, roughly 50 additional individuals. The other delegates signed later, with the final signature added in early 1777. Next trivia question. Who wrote the Constitution? Oh, now there's a toughie. Most people would say James Madison is known as the father of the Constitution because of his central role in drafting and promoting it. By the way, Thomas Jefferson, again, played a critical role in writing the Constitution. Bonus question. Whose handwriting appears on the original Constitution of the United States of America? I hear crickets. Okay. The Constitution consists of over 4,500 words. It was letter perfect. A gentleman by the name of Jacob Shallis, an assistant clerk of the Pennsylvania General Assembly, spent an entire weekend of writing that document in beautiful calligraphy. While in Branson, Missouri recently, I ran across a cap I absolutely had to have. It's kind of a dusty blue with white lettering across the front that says, "We the people," and it's written in precisely the same calligraphy that appears in our Constitution. He was paid for his weekend's work $30. Translated into today's money, about $400. Now, when you took the oath of allegiance a moment ago, your oath was not to a monarch or a political party, not to any person, not to a set of persons, not even to a particular form of government. Rather, you pledged your allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, as well as the ideals and principles that it represents. One of those revolutionary ideals is the belief that people possess rights that do not originate from a government, but are instead inherent to every human being. These are unalienable rights according to the Declaration of Independence, and among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is your goal from this day forward as new United States citizens. The protection of liberty does not ultimately rest in a document. It does not rest inside a building on display. Instead, it rests in the hearts and minds of United States citizens who understand the depth of their freedoms and are willing to preserve the legacy of freedom that is handed to you by oath today. You have been presented with a certificate of citizenship, which was found in your seat. That certificate represents the hard work, the sacrifice, and the time commitment over years that brought you to this very day. It marks the beginning of a new chapter in your journey as Americans. Also in your seat today are those small American flags that you waved and may still wave them, and hopefully will always wave them, as well as a little pin like the one I'm wearing, and it says America 250. You don't need to wear that every day. It'll probably end up in a jewelry box or maybe a drawer somewhere, and when you're rummaging through it, you'll find it. And you're going to remember when you received it as a memento of why you received it. What a remarkable opportunity to take your oath on July 2, 2026, 250 years to the day when the vote by the Second Continental Congress was taken to declare independence from Great Britain. Not close to the day of the vote, today marks the 250th anniversary of the separation of the United States from Great Britain. John Adams believed that July 2 would forever be celebrated as the anniversary of American independence. In a letter to his wife Abigail, he wrote that the day would be celebrated with, and this is a quote, pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other. He was only 2 days off. The fireworks don't come to the night of the 4th. By the time Congress voted for independence, the American War of Independence had already been underway for more than a year. The first shots had been fired at Lexington and Concord on April 19 of 1775. The colonies fought somewhat independently, somewhat together under a common command, fighting before they were actually declared independent. July 4 did not begin the revolution. It announced to the world what the American people had already been fighting for. 2 days from now, our nation will celebrate its 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The words written in that document announced to the world the revolutionary belief that all people are created equal and are born with the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I cannot overemphasize that. The founders understood that these ideals would have to be protected, they'd have to be strengthened, and they'd have to be passed on by each generation of American citizens. Elizabeth Powell asked Benjamin Franklin what type of government had been created by the Constitutional Convention. Franklin's response was, a republic, if you can keep it. More than 2½ centuries later, the responsibility of keeping it belongs to every one of us, and now belongs to you who have become citizens today. Our democratic republic relies on the participation and active involvement of informed American citizens. After all of the studying, the uncertainty, the waiting, and all the sacrifices that brought you here, you have arrived at this moment. Unlike many Americans, you did not become citizens by birth. You became Americans intentionally, by choice, a deliberate choice. You studied our history, you learned our laws, you embraced our values. You chose to become part of the American story. From this moment forward, you and I share something in common. We are citizens of the United States of America. We have 23 different countries, as you heard. Thankfully, Marcy had the responsibility of pronouncing your names correctly. I would still be practicing them. Some of you began your journey in Canada, Mexico, China, India, or the United Kingdom. Others came from various places such as Brazil, Morocco, Vietnam, Tunisia, Eswatini, and Turkey. Although your paths to this moment have been remarkably different, today you share one citizenship, one constitution, and one future as Americans. Our diversity of backgrounds and life experience has always been one of our nation's greatest strengths. Beginning today, your stories become part of the continuing fabric and story of America, a 250-year-old experiment which is now handed to you. With that citizenship comes individual rights and responsibilities, and you now have the privilege to vote and to make your voices heard in the sometimes very messy processes of our democracy. It's kind of messy right now, actually. You have the responsibility to obey our law, to serve on juries when called to do so, and to participate in your communities at all levels of government. The genius of American government works only when citizens participate in preserving it and protecting it. So, just how messy is our form of democracy? Consider the ratification of the revered document called the United States Constitution. Of the original 13 states, only 3 ratified it unanimously. In New York, it passed 30 to 27. New Hampshire approved it 57 to 47. Virginia, 89 to 79. Massachusetts, 187 to 168. And finally, Rhode Island approved the Constitution by the stunning margin of 34 to 32. On June 21 of 1788, New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify the Constitution, satisfying the requirement for it to take effect. Yet the debate was far from over. North Carolina initially refused to ratify it, waiting until the following year. Rhode Island, you know, the state's about the size of the King Ranch in Texas, delayed even longer. It had not even sent delegates to the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It ultimately ratified the Constitution only after being threatened by the new United States government with the prospect of being treated as a foreign nation for the purposes of tariffs, customs, and trade. The first rule of analysis in the United States: follow the money. So yes, American democracy has always been messy. It originated in war. It originated in messy political circumstances. At times, you have observed our civil discourse becoming strident, loud, exaggerated, crude, and frankly, uncivil. Our disagreements can indeed be passionate. Debates can be frustrating. But spirited disagreement is not a sign that our democracy is failing. It is often evidence that it is in fact working. The challenge for each generation is to disagree without forgetting our shared commitment to the Constitution and to one another. Our system can be messy indeed, and yet our legacy of freedom, unlike anywhere else in the world, endures. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of the press, rights that are vital to our system of American government. Yet the foolish abuse of these rights has serious consequences, but when exercised wisely, they strengthen and protect our democracy. I encourage each of you to write down your journey on how you got to this day. Your stories matter. They should be preserved, shared, and passed on to your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. May you live that long. Thank you for your perseverance, your dedication, your choice, and your belief in the ideals of the United States. Your story is now part of the continuing story of America, and it's truly my honor today to welcome you as the newest citizens of the United States. May we applaud them again. At this time, I would like to recognize the many Americans that have fought to protect our American freedoms. These courageous men and women have served and sacrificed to create, preserve, and defend the rights and freedoms that we enjoy today. Their service has protected the principles that allow each of us to pursue our own version of the American dream. If there are veterans or active duty members of our military, please stand so that we may recognize you. One person I want to point out is the clerk of court for the Western District of Louisiana, a former assistant United States attorney now tasked with trying to keep 7 active federal judges in line. It's sort of like herding cats. Dan McCoy, would you stand and come out so we can see you? Dan is here with his daughter, and he is a recent retiree of the United States Navy. He is so new, I don't know that he has received a retirement check yet. Dan, thank you. Thank you, Judge. We're also honored today with the attendance of a couple of important members representing figures in the political life of the United States, and especially this very area in Shreveport. Let me introduce to you first Pam Gra, Senior Advisor to the Speaker of the United States of Representatives, Mike Johnson. Would you come forward? You'll notice she has a box in her arms. That's an American flag that has flown over the United States Capitol. We actually have 4 of them to present today to 4 lucky new United States citizens. We'll hold that drawing in just a very few minutes. Would you like to say anything on behalf of the speaker?
I can, it's up to you.
Come forward. We don't have many speakers of the House from this area, so I think it's a good time.
Thank you, Judge Hicks. I am honored to be here on behalf of Speaker Johnson, and I would like to thank Judge Hicks, KTBS, and the Strand for having the vision to celebrate our newest Americans in such a wonderful and patriotic ceremony. And I congratulate you all on your accomplishments today. Today is about you, and so we celebrate you today. I do have a flag that the speaker is presenting, and I'd like to read that certificate. It says, "The Certificate of Congressional Recognition, the flag of the United States of America from Speaker Mike Johnson, presented in recognition of your attainment of United States citizenship," and it is signed Speaker Mike Johnson, United States House of Representatives. Again, I thank you for the opportunity to be here today on behalf of the Speaker, and wish you all a happy 250 4th of July ceremony.
Thank you, Pam. Next is Quentin Ott on behalf of Congressman Cleo Fields. Quentin?
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. My name is Quentin Ott. I'm a congressional liaison for Congressman Cleo Fields. Congressman Fields would like to thank the Honorable Judge Hicks and everyone's effort organizing this event. Congressman Fields would like to say to each and every one of you, congratulations on this major milestone of becoming a U.S. citizen. He believes each and every one of you will be productive citizens within this country. And just like Judge Hicks says, we have a flag that was flown over the Capitol as well, and I would like to read it. It says, "At the request of Honorable Cleo Fields, Member of Congress, this flag was flown in recognition of receiving your citizenship. I commend your dedication, perseverance, and commitment as we celebrate the significant milestone in your journey. Congratulations."
Thank you. Yes, sir. Go ahead. We're going to close today's ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, please stand, face one of the many flags on this stage, and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and announce our special American flag drawing. As you know, there are 4 flags to be presented, and in this particular instance, we will have a representative of the Norwella Council of Scouting America to assist in drawing the winning names. All right, our first flag from Senator John Kennedy, who was unable to join us, and unfortunately a representative could not attend today, with the flag having been flown over the Capitol for America's sesquicentennial celebration. Who's our first winner? Number 10. Oh boy, please come forward. Flag is from Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator Cassidy went whole hog on this flag. Instead of the standard 4x8, this is a 5x8 flag. It is fabric as opposed to durable vinyl. From Senator Cassidy, please accept this flag, which was flown over the United States Capitol and of our newest United States citizens. Our nation's flag is a symbol of America's dedication to the pursuit of the core principles that were set forth by our founding fathers: freedom, liberty, and justice for all. I join with you and others in celebrating at the Strand Theater on July 2 of 2026 for this momentous occasion. Sincerely, Bill Cassidy, MD, United States Senator. Who do we have next? Thank you. Our newest citizen in seat 19. Ah, there we are. Congratulations. And on behalf of the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, would you like to read this?
I did. I'll read it again.
She's read it once. In honor of George Servan's time with no commercials during this 1 hour, I don't think we'll read it again. Who's won our third flag? Seat number 20. Please come forward. Our final flag today, Quentin, would you come up with me here? On behalf of Congressman Cleo Fields, who is our fourth flag winner today. Seat number 23. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you, Scouts. There'll be a private reception for our new citizens and their families hosted by SWEPCO, KTBS, the Northwest Louisiana Daughters of the American Revolution, and the United States District Court for the Western District of Louisiana. By the way, the clerk's office has worked tirelessly taking care of all of the details connected to this. Tennille Gilreath, our Chief Deputy Clerk of Court, also a former United States Attorney as a prosecutor, and Anna Putch. Would you two come out here, please? I know we have Anna anyway. No? These ladies have worked hours and hours and hours and attended to details that I didn't know existed. All of these flags, with the exception of this one here from a Strand staff member, were swiped, for lack of a better term, from the United States District Court in our chambers offices as well as in our courtrooms and wherever else we could find a flag. Thank you to those two and to Scott Bright, who assisted in this gargantuan effort. I'd like to also thank the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, KTBS, and especially Jan Elkins and Rick Rowe. Rick told me he needed a 5-minute interview with me. What he didn't tell me was it took 45 minutes to get enough material to wipe a whole bunch out and end up with 5 minutes. I'd like to also thank SWEPCO and the Historic Strand Theater, and as well as the Norwella Council of Scouting America, the United States Marshal Service, and so many unnamed volunteers whose efforts made this celebration possible. I'm going to be available for photographs following this ceremony by one of the flags here if you and your family would like to come up and get a picture, and you may proudly display your certificate. Also on your seats today were two things. Number one was an America 250 pin. That is a gift from my wife, Glenda, and I to you to commemorate today. The other thing that you found was a pocket copy of the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. I give that to my MBA students in the first class at Centenary and challenge them to keep it with them for a week. Doesn't happen. I also challenge them that when they found it after losing it for years, that they at least remember who gave it to them. These pocket constitutions commemorate your swearing in today. Speaker Mike Johnson, and it bears my signature as well. With no further business to come before the court today, I'd like to introduce our closing song, sung by Mr. Reginald W. Abrams, with an a cappella, God Bless America.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If you would, join me with singing this prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Reggie. We have one change of procedure, and that is we're going to move one of the flags out into the lobby, and our picture-taking opportunity will occur in the lobby as opposed to here on the stage, so that the group can get everything back to normal for the next performance here at the Historic Strand Theater. At this time, this ceremony is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Great job, Judge. And ladies and gentlemen, if you will, give it up for our new American citizens one more time. Congratulations. We're very proud
Wave
of you.
those flags proudly. So young, Jan.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, with
Well,
so much
everybody's young
promise.
compared to you
Well,
and me.
kind of yes, but so much promise and potential.
Yes.
So much to give back to this great country. I just wave that flag proudly. You've earned it, and you deserve it. And we are happy to welcome you into our home. Thank you.
And we are in the process of joining our 4 o'clock newscast right now. There is, Judge, an actual celebration for our new citizens that's going to be upstairs, I believe.
That's correct, and it is a reception on the second floor, and they'll be there long enough for everybody to get their pictures taken without running out of cake. And we've got a big cake with the number 250 in red, white, and blue on top, so everybody gets a shot at being able to celebrate at that private reception. The Daughters of the American Revolution and the clerk's office, SWEPCO, KTBS, all of them have joined in the effort to provide today's ceremony and the celebration.
Amen.
Thank you all for being with us today, and we're going to go ahead and have our live shot with our new citizens behind us. But congratulations again, once Alex and Shannon can hear us.
Yes, we can hear you, Jan, and oh, it's been so inspirational to
Thank
see all
you.
of that.
Yes.
Yeah, such a powerful moment there. Thank you guys so much. We're going to check in with you here in just a bit, but we just went an hour without taking a commercial break, so I think we need to step away here for just a couple of minutes.
Got to pay the bills.
Thank you for joining KTBS 3 and KPXJ for this America 250 Naturalization Celebration, honoring the promise and pride of citizenship, brought to you by SWEPCO.